thoughts on the season so far as a Liverpool fan? Up and down. Up and down, I think, is probably the best way to describe it. I think the injuries to Gomez and Van Dijk has had a massive effect on our season. You know, Thiago's been out for a medium amount of time as well after his injury or his tackle by Richarlison at Everton. So up and down, I suppose, is probably the best way to put it. I think overall, if you look at the season and you take everything into consideration, I think Liverpool to be 7 points off the top of the table as we speak right now is probably okay. It's probably okay. It's probably an okay thing. But the season's most definitely not over. But there's a lot of work there to be done, and the lack of a signing at centre half, I suppose, is something that may come back to haunt Liverpool. But overall, you know, you can't have too many complaints, I don't think. So we'll have to wait and see as the season goes. Standout players for me will be Gino Wijnaldum and Andy Robertson. I think Alisson deserves a shout as well, but I think Robertson and Wijnaldum have been excellent. Mo Salah, of course, despite no matter what he does, I think people have a go at him. But he's top scorer this season, you know, and I don't think he's been in great form, but he's top scorer. So I think he's been really good. But performance-wise and consistency, I think you have to look at Andy Robertson, who's been excellent at left back, and you most definitely have to look at Gini Wijnaldum because, you know, I don't know how many minutes he's missed for Liverpool and Holland this season. So it's one of those where he's consistently consistent for both club and country, and it looks like with Wijnaldum he's going to leave the club, and I think it's a sad day for Liverpool if he does, because, you know, while everything else has been chaos around him, Wijnaldum has gone about his business brilliantly, and so too Robinson. On Spurs, I tipped them at the start of the season to do really well. At the end of last season, you know, if you look at the form when Mourinho comes in till the end of last season, they're in top 4 form, and they would have made Champions League on average if they had a Mourinho from the start of the season. They're really starting to buy into his way of playing, particularly Harry Kane, and they look solid, especially in midfield, and they've got better defensively, and the way they're going forward, they've changed it up a little bit for me with the positioning that Kane takes up, but Son has been out of this world, and, you know, when you add Bergwijn into that, you can add Lucas Moura into that, you can add Gareth Bale into that. You know, there's so many options for them there, and I think they're doing really, really well. They're overperforming, no, because of the points total. I don't think anybody's overperforming. I think there's quite a good few teams underperforming, but they're there or thereabouts, and that's all you need to be. If you can keep that till 10 games left, you're in with every chance. So I think Mourinho's doing a fantastic job there. And look, they're doing really well. They have good players. Their injury record isn't too bad, and even when they've had injuries, they've kind of got through it okay. So I think Spurs are a great chance of winning a trophy this season, and which one that'll be, I don't know. But I think, you know, they have a League Cup final, I think, against Man City, don't they? But in the league, there was as much a chance as anyone, I think. What players worry me from Spurs? Son and Kane. They're the two most obvious, but the way Kane is playing and dropping off and looking to link play and being really, really good is a worry for any team that they come up against. Son is just a fantastic footballer that, you know, no matter what happens, he's just a fantastic footballer, regardless whether he's playing home or away or wherever the opposition. You know, Moura worries me. I don't know why he doesn't get more game time for Spurs. He's very direct, he's very pacey, and I think he can trouble most teams in the league. You know, Bergwijn is a good player. And Bale, why wouldn't Bale worry you? You know, he's not on top form, he hasn't been at his best this season, but if Gareth Bale turns up at 70-80%, you could be in trouble. So there's plenty of players there that, you know, if they turn up and if they play their game, they can worry, a bit like Liverpool. You know, like Liverpool are going through a bad turn of form, but if Liverpool show up and click into gear, they'll worry Spurs and they'll worry every team in the league. Spurs are a bit like that. Probably not at the level of Liverpool, and that's not being, you know, just saying that because I'm a Liverpool fan, but probably not at that level yet, but absolutely getting there. So there's loads of players there that can worry you from Spurs. You know, you throw Endon Belly in there. He's starting to show some form as well, and you know they've quality throughout, and I think it's shown, you know, this season at times, and we have to wait and see come Thursday. Score prediction, I'll leave that to last. Team prediction for me, it looks like Matip and Henderson are fit, so it'll be Alisson in goal, Trent right back, Robertson left back, Matip and Fabinho at centre back. He will go Henderson, Wijnaldum, Thiago, in my opinion, and he will go Mane, Salah, Firmino. That'll be Liverpool's 11. I think it's as strong as we can go at the moment. And then off the bench, you know, you're looking at Minamino, you're looking at Oxlade-Chamberlain, Origi, Jones. You know, there's a couple more there, a couple of defenders. Milner will be on the bench, and yeah, it's one of those. The lineup doesn't really worry me for Liverpool. It's the Liverpool that show up. You know, I've seen Liverpool make changes here and there plenty of times and turn up and do really, really well. So it's more the team that turns up. They showed signs against United, despite losing. They showed signs of having a bit more hunger, a bit more temper to the game, and a bit more confidence in what they were doing. So I'm hoping that carries on into Thursday. Score prediction, I'm going to stick with my prediction I've done on a couple of these types of things, and it's 2-2. I think Spurs have goals in them, Liverpool have goals in them, and both teams, just the way they play, the quality they have, dictate that they're going to score, which means both teams are going to concede. So for this, I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw. I don't think it does either side any favours. I think it's a bit of a must-win for both. You know, Liverpool needed their 7 points off the top. Same amount of games played. If they were to lose this, they go possibly 10. If they draw it, they go possibly 9. And Spurs are in a similar situation. So I think it's a bit of a must-win for both sides. We're starting to get to that now. We're second half of the season. You need to start winning everything, and every draw feels like a defeat, and every defeat is unthinkable. So I think it's a must-win for both, but I think it could end up being a draw, a 2-2 draw. So look, we have to wait and see. But everyone from us at the Daytrippers, enjoy the game. Hopefully it's a good one, and we can have a chat afterwards. Over and out.